Hello, this is Mary Lou Foster. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sulphur Springs, Texas. You're like, where's that? Well, Texas is a big state. It's up in the northeast corner, closer to Paris, halfway between Dallas and Texarkana, north of Tyler. So we are in a greener part of Texas because kind of depends on where you go as to what you see. So I'm here today with a card that I'm calling Florals in Bloom birthday card. And I'm calling it that because I'm using the Florals in Bloom Designer Series paper. It's kind of the star of this card. That's part of the Impressions of Bloom bundle. This is a bundle that has stamps, and as you can tell, they were still in a stamp case, so they're currently available. And then the dies that coordinate are called Impressions of Bloom dies. What kind of intrigued me about this card, we're going to be doing some heat embossing and using more than one piece of the Designer Series paper. We're going to even fix our insides. So I have card kits prepared. This paper, it's Florals in Bloom, so you do have to expect there are going to be some flowers. This is, let me think what color, Shamrock that it's, I think this is Summer Splash. This one is the Shy Shamrock because it's green. And I'm doing this video on the 16th of March, which is the day before St. Patrick's Day. So look at all the colors it coordinates with. Tons of them, but lots of flowers. This little sampler represents each sheet of paper that is in the package. Secret Sea and Cloud Cover, those are continuing on with us. I believe that's correct. Each year Stampin' Up! Releases 5 new in colors, and they are good for 2 years. So we're saying goodbye to Pretty in Pink. I was hoping it would stay. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Well, let's get started on the card. Not spend a whole lot of time just chit-chatting. Let me put up the item number for this paper. I did not put up the code number yet for the stamps and dies. This is a 5.5 by 4.25 card front. So you take your 11-inch by 8.5-inch cardstock, cut it in half at 5.5, and score at 4.25. So it's a typical card. Nothing fancy about that. I'm going to go ahead and get some of these layers, go ahead and stick them on so that they're not just wandering all over my table. It's got lots of color in that. The piece of Designer Series paper is mounted on some Secret Sea, so it doesn't just disappear into the front of the card. I am a tape runner, our seal. I don't like my fingers to be sticky. And notice there, neither piece is, look at that. I ran right out. Whoops. Been crafting a lot. Let me see. Got a couple laying over here. Oh, come on, get off my fingers. Let's see if this one will work. Sometimes I adopt, yeah, I'm not sure this one's going to work for me. I have trouble with them sometimes doubling back on themselves. Let me try this one. I have several laying over here. Maybe. That one is going to work. Move that one. So as I was saying, these are not mounted on square. And some of us who are a little bit more type A like our things all lined up. But this card's kind of cute and it gets away with it. So I will forgive it for not being straight. Let's do our heat embossing. This is what a friend of mine introduced me to before I was a Stampin' Up customer. I had gone to a little gathering and they were playing with ink paper and all of that, and the heat embossing came out. In fact, it was around Christmas time, which you expect with the snow that you're going to do that. You use Versamark ink, which is considered a watermark ink because it's clear and it will dry, and where you have stamped will be just a little bit darker. And you can kind of see the words. Probably not. Get up close. Yeah, you can. All right, let me put it back down here. I am using our Wow powders. We have a package of basics. It's like the white, the black. What else is in that? We have gold. We have silver. I don't remember for sure. We have 2 different packets. Our packets isn't really the word I need, but it's the word that is sticking in my head. That there are 4 containers in each. All right. Our heat tool gets super hot. I'm going to go ahead and start it. Let it warm up. I'm going to hold that with my crafting tweezers. I like to do mine from the front. Some people do it from the back. Not wrong, just different. You can see it start melting. The cool thing about it, it kind of becomes part of the paper and it won't rub off. If I had touched it before I heated it, I would have messed it up because the powder would have come off. You can you can see this sparkle. That's magic. There are so many things you can do with heat embossing. We also have a die cut stamping machine, stamping, cut, and emboss machine, and it will emboss, but that's not heat embossing, that's dry embossing. All right, I am not going to attach that yet because I'm going to have to build kind of a scene with the flowers. These flowers are 2-step stamping. You're like, oh my gosh, what is that? Well, you may notice that there is some detail to these flowers, that they're not just one coat. Make sure are one color. And there are several different ways to accomplish that. For me, the most obvious is using 2 different colors of ink to even stamp the flowers. So I am starting with the darker. I'm starting with Berry Burst. As you can see, it's a rich, dark, pinky, purpley. And then I'm going to, for the leaf, the coloring part of this, cover up my stamping space because I'm going to do 2nd generation stamping. What is that, you say? Well, what I just stamped is considered 1st generation. See, it's dark. Re-ink that. But for my coloring, if I stamped this the same color as what I just did, you are not going to be able to see the lines. It's just going to all be the same color. But when I stamp the 2nd generation, it's lighter. And that's what I want my flower petals to be. So what I need to do right now is figure out the leaf. And for this one, there's a line that's a little longer right here. The one across from it is more square across the top. So that's how I know kind of where I'm going to stamp it. Those are my landmarks for me. See, you can see the detail, you can see the lines of my first stamping. Can't really tell if you can see it or not. Yeah. Right. So I need 3 flowers. And I think my next one, I'll go ahead and stamp first generation. This is the one with the lines. It's the details. You know, flowers they're not just solid. They have some give and take in them. In the coloring, they're also not perfect. And we like to be perfect. I'm cleaning. Notice I'm cleaning it off because I'm going to stick that same stamp in Pretty in Pink. So because that was such a dark color, I don't want to mess up my stamp pad. You can see where somebody kind of pushed it. So let me stamp it on my background paper so you can see. It's lighter and you're like, oh, that doesn't match. It's going to be fine. It's going to make another thing I could do. Well, let me see what it looks like. If I don't like it, here's the square one. There's the one that's kind of round. Here we go. See, you can see the pink. Another thing I can do, let me clean this one, is stamp it first generation and second generation. So let's ink up the lines. And then I'm going to ink up the solid, but I'm going to stamp off first. And now let me figure out. I keep twisting them on myself. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty. So those are my 3 flowers. I think I will go with those. Everybody's turned out differently depending on the combination of inks they use, how many times they stamp off. And there is a die that I can use to die cut these. And I think I'm going to do that. I did not like pre-stamp and get some ready. I'm going to use our mini machine. And yeah, you can kind of see. All right, so the die lines up pretty much like what the inks did, because that squarish leaf and that little bit rounder leaf opposite, and they just kind of nestle together. When you find the right combination, it just kind of settles in and looks right. I'm going to use a piece of washi tape to hold that down. And what did I do? Here it is right here. All right, let's run it through to see what happens. I always feel like I need da-da-da Jeopardy music. That's one. And see how pretty that turns out. Number 2. It's right there. Maybe you can't see because of the shadow, but I don't have room to move it up any farther so you can see. Punch that out and get this ready one more time. I think we're doing okay. Pull that down. need to turn it so it'll fit on through the machine. Our mini only takes a piece of about 3 inches wide. I keep it here by my stamp table. The big one I have to keep somewhere else because I don't have a solid, firm enough surface here in my crafting space to keep the big machine. All right. The only thing I didn't do is I did not stamp the middle, and I do have the stamp, and I think I'm going to add that. I think we're going to do, I have a brownish, let's just use the same color. That's what I did for my card glass. You can do it full strength, you can do it second generation, whatever floats your boat. And that's the thing about these crafts and card making. There really aren't any rules. We make up the rules, but technically there really aren't any rules. All right, we are going to put this on dimensionals, and I totally used up my sheet. I think I'm only going to kind of put the dimensionals in the center because the stems of these need to go under it, but I can kind of get them set. And now this I do want straight with the bottom of my card. Son, come on, let's move up. All right. I think what we'll do is stick the greenery down before I stick the label down. I'm going to use some contraband glue. Yeah, pretend like it's our green glue. It's not. What I like about this bottle is the applicator tip. And when I do get it on my hands, they're not super sticky. It wears off fast. But this glue also dries really fast. So if you don't like where you've put it, you don't have much time to change it. Our, is it Tombow? We call it green glue because it's in the bottle that's green. But it's got an official name. It stays wet longer and you have time to kind of move it around. When I stick this on it, I think my dimensional is going to catch it. Yeah. So I'm going to tuck that up underneath. Let me show that so you know what we're doing here. Oh, it's burping. I have to burp the baby. Excuse me for a moment. I took this with me to Long Beach this weekend, so it probably still is under pressure from the airplane. I just put it in my checked bag. I didn't bring it with me. Alrighty. I need some good sticky. Probably should use glue dots, but our little glue dots are kind of little. Little is the operative word there. And we're just going to kind of arrange those around. You know what? I think I might put dimensional underneath these petals. That'll kind of make them be the same height. Well, come on. Give me your backing. There's one. These things are so tiny. There's two. Only wanted to stay with me. And I don't want to totally cover up my letters. I gotta hurry up because my silly computer decided that it needed to get plugged in. It missed me. Okay. There we go. Then we embellished it with the 25-27 in color flat pearls. My caution about these, when you work with them, make sure when you pick up that pearl that you get the little sticky on the back, because I think some ladies are going to lose their pearls. And I think I'm going to use the cloud cover ones just to be different. You know, you could put them in the center of the flowers. We're just going to use them to accent the sentiment. So for the inside, what I was thinking about doing, I gave them another piece of designer series paper, and somewhere they also got a piece of white cardstock. I don't know if that's the one that goes with it, but let's pretend that it is. The sentiment that we put on the inside is, I love that I have known you for so many birthdays. And I'm going to stamp it in Berry Burst. I think it will be readable because Berry Burst is really dark. If you're concerned that whoever gets the card won't be able to read it, maybe a black would be a better option. Let me silence my phone. Okay, let's get this mounted. I have got ink on my fingers. Go figure. So if you're interested in reading more about this card, I will put the cutting instructions on my blog. I will link it in the description so you'll know. Also, I can include the list of supplies that I used. So if you love this paper, like most of us love this paper, you're going to want your own package. So if you have any questions, just reach out. You can email me. You can, my blog is pretty simple, maryloufoster.com. Should get to it. I Google myself every now and then just to make sure that that does work. And if you're going to shop with me, at maryloufoster.stampinup.net. So that's all I have for you today. Happy stamping.